Good afternoon. Today is the 3rd of June and here we are back at Barron's Classic Car Auctions at Marchwood near Southampton. I could smell the sea air actually today. It's a bit quieter than it normally is. There doesn't seem to be so many companies building boats as there normally are, or they're just building them quietly. But here we are and seeing some delights. I know all of you like seeing them with me. So this is their June sale preview. We've seen this car before, 1988 Jaguar XJS V12 automatic convertible. This car is a project. It's been offered with no reserve whatsoever. I'd be intrigued to see actually how much this is going to make this time, because this is the 3rd entry. You do get 2 free re-entries if your car doesn't sell if you enter it to the auction. I imagine this is what's going to happen with this one. I mean, we've got hood that's going to need replacing and everything. Interior is, well, parts of it are alright. I mean, we've got a nice beige leather interior. That's going to need recovering. And non-standard steering wheel and half a gear lever. So, yeah, I mean, I have driven one of these. It was actually a V12 convertible one that I drove from 1991. But, yeah, it didn't quite look like this. Next up, we've got something that, if you have ever watched an old series from the late 60s, early 70s called Randall Hockett Deceased, you'll think, oh my gosh, that looks very similar to that car used in it. And yeah, it's also a 1964 Mini. I don't know if this is a Super Deluxe or not. I'm not actually sure. It's an 848cc for sure. And this paint, apparently, from what I understand, is completely original. It's got this patina where it's sort of been polished, and it's sort of all sort of different colours. The estimate on this particular Mini is £8,000 to £9,500. Now, as a lot of you know, classic Minis are very much in demand. But their prices have gone down a little bit, perhaps, but something like this, if it was all done together, would be worth an awful lot more than that. The ownership is very low on this, I think. The car's actually been modified slightly to accommodate somebody with a hip replacement, apparently. So if we use the door handles like on a house, and we can see really sort of charming things like the really long gear lever. This won't have sync compression first or anything. It won't have servo assisted brakes. I think they're all drums on one of these. But yeah, we've got the little thing down there. I don't think it's a dip switch. I think the dip switch is actually that thing. I think one of these is the starter lever down here from the memory. But it's amazing. The old cable operated interior door release, because Alicus Asconis didn't think you needed sliding windows in a car like this, and so you got really big door pockets. You didn't get sliding windows until 1969 in a Mini. The Wolsey Hornet and Riley I've got them a little bit earlier, but yeah, I mean, I find that quite charming and sort of wonderful. Brilliant. Another piece of our motoring heritage here is a 1956 Austin A40 Cambridge. This one is, yes, actually in really nice condition. The paint's not perfect. You can see it's maybe an older restoration this, but it's only actually a guide price of £4,000 to £5,000, which I think is crazy. Apparently matching numbers. This car is called Ethel. Let's have a look inside Ethel. I can't remember if we saw Ethel last month or not. I've been there so many times I get confused as to what month I'm filming things. Look at that, really basic column change on this. No rev counter or anything like that. I imagine that gearbox won't be all synchro either. And then we've got a little lever there. There's actually space here for where some of them must have had a trafficator or something. Yeah, it's not exactly my kind of thing. Oops, I'm going to have to give that a bit of help. There we go. Yeah. I think that probably needs a little bit of oil or something. But what a fantastic little car. Can't believe, you know, old cars aren't worth more money sometimes. Next we've got this interesting 1978 Land Rover Series 3. Now, if you're thinking what I thought when I first saw this, it looks a bit like a Defender at the front. I think that's because the grille and things have been changed, which of course is quite easy to do on one of these, and the mirrors The estimate on this is only £3,000 to £5,000. It is the petrol engine. Imagine the 2.254 cylinder that I have actually driven in a Series 3 Land Rover. It was a lightweight, it was a 79, the one I drove. But if you look at the side of it, yeah, we've still got the Series 3 door handles and things. The interior is definitely Series 3. There we go. It's one of these things, either you really like things like this or you don't. You know, this sort of money, I mean, it looks all right. There's not a lot of information in the current listing for this. The auction's happening at the end of this week, at the time of recording. But it's all prepared for off-road use and things. Yeah, I mean, that might be a bit of fun. It's a 78, so I recommend you have an MOT, but technically you don't need one. So this is a 1960 Jaguar MK2. This started life apparently as a pastel blue 2.4 manual. It's now got a 3.4 engine. It's a manual overdrive car. Estimate on this is £20,000 to £25,000. Actually looks really good. The paint is brilliant actually on this. And there's something that I've spotted straight away which makes me quite like this car. And if we look inside, oh yes, a beautiful beige leather interior with an awful lot of wood, and it smells wonderful. I do like a nice beige leather interior view. It's right hand handbrake, of course. Just have a look in the description and sort of see if this is a 5-speed. Imagine it doesn't say, so it's just a standard 4-speed overdrive in this. Yeah, it's pretty good. It needs a little clean or something, but that's amazing. It's always very hard to value these. And the Mark II prices seem to be all over the place actually at the moment. This is a really good one. So I think that estimate of £20,000 to £25,000 might well be accurate. 1978 Chevy Corvette. I think we've seen this quite a few times, viewers. I don't quite know why this is still here and nobody has bought it. We might be on the second of the 3 re-entries of this at the moment. Estimate is £9,000 to £10,000. Again, it's not really me this. It's left-hand drive for a start, and I do struggle to drive left-hand drive cars in this country. I've tried a couple and it didn't necessarily fill me with confidence, but there we go. It's going to need a new tyre at front, isn't it, for sure. There's the interior with the automatic gearbox and things. I've only seen lots of American cars at shows recently. There's a real scene for these, and yeah, this might be your kind of thing. Next we have something more modern. This is a 1997 BMW Z3. I think this is just a 4-cylinder one. I'm not entirely sure actually. It's a very early one. 97 was, I think, the second year they sold them in this country. This one's an auto. Yeah, oh, no, sorry, it's not a 4-cylinder, it's a 2.8 6-cylinder. That's be what it's estimated at £4,500 to £5,500. These are collectible cars now. You can still buy some of the kind of 1.8 to 1.9s for no budget reviews money sometimes if they're a bit rough. This one's good. It's not perfect or anything. I have driven a 3-litre one of these, and it was pretty good fun actually. Just so you know, we're not covering the bikes in here. There's quite a few bikes this month, but I don't know anything about bikes, so we're skipping straight on to lot number 111, which is this very nice 1971 Interceptor Mark III. Yes, I am aware that there are some others in here as well. We're going to cover these cars in lot order, so we'll get onto those soon. This one, it's like an old friend. This has been over a while. Why it hasn't sold yet, I don't know. I don't have the money to buy this, and my lady wife will kill me if I did. But I just want to be Robert Vaughan and the Protectors, which ran from 72 to 73, although filming started in 71, so around the same time that this actually would come out. The car used in the Protectors was I think an early 71 model on a J plate. They are just fabulous cars. We'll have a look at inside of probably some of the other ones actually. We looked at this one before, we haven't seen the others, so we'll look at those instead a bit later on. Interesting thing here, this is a 1964 Ford Anglia 105E, and it's the estate model, which is pretty rare actually. This started life as a 1.2. and it's now got a rebuilt pre-crossover engine, brought out to 1730 cc's, and then Lotus steel wheels. I imagine Lotus Cortina steel wheels. I thought the 1.2 version of this was called the Anglia Super, but and had a 123 model designation, but maybe I'm wrong. It's just so evocative of late 50s really when these came out, 59. Yeah, so it'd be a bit faster than they originally would have been, because they were not the fastest cars. The styling of the estates is such that it looks more like a modern Cortina really. It doesn't look anything like the Anglia saloons. It's very different in that way. National Trust sticker, of course, at the back of it. Oh, National Rust sticker. I do apologise, National Rust. Yeah, again, it's not really sort of me, this, but I can see why somebody would like it. It's kind of a subtly modified car. It's not too over the top. Talking of cars from the 60s, this is a 1969 Marcos 3-litre GT. The 3-litre engine actually out of a Volvo. It's out of a Volvo 164 in these. This reminds me so much of the very last episode of The Saint to be transmitted. It's called The World Beater. And a Marcos was heavily featured in this, along with a TVR. Estimate on this is surprisingly low. It's at £16,000 to £20,000. And often I say to people, rarity doesn't equal value, and this is a rare old car. It didn't make very anyway, and it's up to less than £20,000 estimate. Let's have a look inside. I think this is a catch out of a comma van, isn't it? There we go. Gosh, you've got to be quite sort of athletic to get in and out of there. Gosh, the roof only comes up to my waist. I mean, I'll just kind of stoop down rather than trying to get in. Smells good. It's got electric windows. Wow, look at all those switches. Like an E-Type Jaguar in here. All those switches along there. I imagine this is a lot of fun. Actually, it looks good. Like the paint and everything. So I'll have to close that properly in a second. I think yes, it's a fiberglass car. This. Yeah. Sadly, one of these companies that doesn't exist anymore. That does look like a lot of fun, though. Now, we've seen this car before, but I'm not sad about actually seeing it again. This 1936 Standard 10, estimate £79,000. This particular car lived in a place called Sherfield English, which is near Romsey, for the vast majority of its life. Little board there with old V5s and tax discs and things like that. Just absolutely amazing. It's got that amazing spine. Actually, we should have a look inside. Suicide doors, of course. I mean, it's probably been repainted at some stage in its life. I mean, it's over 80 years old, this car. I'm going to have to sort that out later. What is it with being trying not to close doors properly, though? Yeah, there you go. It was painted. That's a local area code, Romsey, by the way, so didn't go very far. Again, it's not really my sort of thing, this, but it's terribly, terribly charming. Something a bit more conventional probably is this 1968 MGC GT, not MGB, MGC GT, which I always get wrong during Shambolic shuffles at car shows. This one estimate is £18,000 to £20,000. It looks, to be honest, really good. I think we've seen this before, actually. Maybe it's being re-entered after a few months. That door probably needs a bit of lubrication. Yeah, sort of nice, sort of big early steering wheel in this. Not that I don't like the bumper MGBs, in fact, I do actually, but something about this is just sort of the right look to it. And we've got these Mini-Lite style wheels on it, which look fantastic. Paint looks good. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Yeah, it's very nice. And look, our old friend is here. 1989 Ford Escort XR3i. Estimate £3,000 to £5,000, and I think a car that's not got a lot of history. There are some things on here which are not correct on it. The badge in the front's not correct. The indicators on the front aren't correct. Could do with the radio and stuff. it has been resprayed at some point, this, and you can sort of tell it has been. Do with a new gear lever, but it's all sort of there, apart from there is a radio in it actually. Surely this, it hasn't got any history or anything. It should be fun for somebody to take to shows and stuff, and if you were really, really keen, you could put the correct wheels on it, you could change the gear lever, you could change the front indicators and put a badge on it, and it would be a sort of fun thing to go round for the summer season. So we have got a bit of noise in the background. We're just going to take a very brief look at this Aston Martin V8 Volante. It's just been imported to the United States, and it's left-hand drive and US specification. The estimate on this is quite a lot more than a lot of cars in here. It's 100 to 130,000 pounds, but if you want something that was featured in Living Daylight, which is not this exact one, but most importantly of all, it's got a beige leather interior with wood and a blue steering wheel, which is quite exciting really. The bumper is massive as well, look at that. So we did say earlier on we'd be looking at more Jensen Interceptors, and well, here we are. This is a 72, not a 71 like the one on the right hand side here. Got a 7.2 litre engine. Estimate is 28 to 32,000 pounds on this. You can see this massive V8 in here, and someone's also left the window open so we can have a look at the interior on this one. I prefer beige leather myself, but this will do, won't it? Look at all these things I remember. We've got air conditioning and a fastened seatbelt sign, and that big automatic transmission lever. I think personally I prefer the blue one. I mean, this is the one I prefer, but it's good as well. I don't know what the best one is. I mean, we've actually got another one to look at shortly, so maybe let me know in the comment section below once you've seen all three of them, which is your preference. Then next to it, we've got this 2005 Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 8 FQ. And yes, FQ does stand exactly for what you think it does. Estimate is 21 to 25,000 pounds. This is a UK model. It's number 207 of limited edition, and it's done 71,500 miles. Obviously, I don't think I'd want to pay this much for a car like this. I think I'd want a more standard one if it were me, rather than this sort of limited edition thing. We've got a rear wiper. That's interesting, but it looks pretty good. Might be actually open. We'll have a look inside. I have driven Lancer Evolution. Evolution 10 I drove on a track, and it was absolutely amazing. Caro seats, you've got the Rally Art mats in here. Certain ones of you will be thinking, when do I get to play, and I want to buy it. I think these are great, and I really respect them. It's just it's not quite me, perhaps. So we've got another Aston Martin here. It's actually estimated up above the Volante. This one's actually estimated at 160 to 200,000 pounds. I think this is the most valuable car I've ever seen for sale at this auction house. There's the engine there. So it's similar, I think, to the car that's used in the Goldfinger novel, which I think was written around 1957 and published in 1958, so that would make sense, wouldn't it? There is a V5 for it, apparently there's no history for it, which is a shame. That is really nice. I mean, I prefer the later Aston Martins myself, but it's a very, very nice looking car, that. Very nice indeed. So another Mark II Jaguar, this time a 3.8 litre. This one has got a 5-speed gearbox in it. Old English white with a red leather interior. Estimate between 21 to 26,000 pounds. This has had a full restoration on it apparently, and it looks good. We've even got matching seat belts to red leather. Yeah, 5-speed gearbox in it. One thing I would have preferred is inertia reel seat belts, but I don't like fixed seat belts personally. But there we go. We've got the little gold leaper on here, but yeah, that's rather nice. You can see again acres and acres of wood, because Jaguar they didn't skimp on giving that to you back in the day. That looks very nice. Just don't go in that and get pushed off a cliff like someone in those old ITC series with 90s, took to the 70s, because that's what used to happen when he got in one of those. So I think last time we were here we saw two MX-5s. This is the more expensive of the two, which is still here. This is a 2003 Mazda Speed MX-5 Turbo. Imported from Japan, one owner over there. Estimate, 10 to 14,000 pounds. Got a very, very nice beige leather interior in this one as well. I mean, you can buy a normal MB MX-5 here for about, if you really want to, about a tenth of the price. But this is a very, very special one, and that is in lovely, lovely condition as well. We said we were going to get onto this eventually, and we have. This is, of the three of them, this is the most expensive. It's a 75, this one. Interceptor Mark III convertible. It's quite sort of close to a time actually when these were, well, discontinued because the company went bankrupt about 1976. But we've got a different interior in this. It's quite different. We've got different bits and things. Lots of wood and this sort of, I think I'd call it a yellow leather interior in this one. The colour of this is absolutely amazing. It's a beautiful, beautiful colour. This has actually come in from Kuwait, which is strange place to sort of drive one of these. But perhaps back in the 70s, in Kuwait, you would, not worry about the fuel consumption for a car like this. But yeah, that's wonderful. Then we've got this very, very nice TVR Griffith 500. This must be one of the last Griffiths made. I think they finished production in 2000. By this stage, lots of other TVR models were on sale, so why you'd want one of these, maybe just the look of it. I like the look of this very much. I think those are Vauxhall Cavalier Mark III rear lights in this, from what I remember. Not only is it dark blue, we have a beige leather interior with wood as well. That is very, very nice indeed. Just under 35,000 miles from new as well. We've got Oz racing wheels on this. It looks absolutely superb. I think that's a fantastic looking car. Would I like to drive one of these? Oh yes. I'm afraid, again, we probably won't be buying this because my lady wife will, well, she won't be very happy if I try to do that. Lot number 131, this 1991 Beetle, Mexican import, right-hand drive conversion. I don't know why this is still here. This is the thumbnail for last month's video. So, normally that would perhaps give a bit more prominence, but I don't know what's going on there. Seat's a bit worn, didn't see that last time. So you've got, I think that's a late basic Mark II Golf steering wheel in here. Yeah, no reserve on this time. They just clearly want it gone. I don't know what this is worth, to be honest. It's got the 1.6 engine, 50 years limited edition. Yeah, that is quite interesting, really. Hopefully somebody will buy that. I mean, it's not cosmetically perfect or anything. We can see that this bit's going to need attention. It's a classic rust spot for a Beetle just there, for example. But yeah, it's a fascinating little thing. So then we've got another classic here, Bedford CF. No reserve on this one actually. 4-speed manual with the 2.3 slot 4 engine, but I recently drove in a 75 Victor Transcontinental that will appear on the channel at some point. So same engine in here, 4-speed with overdrive. Sorry, no overdrive, just 4-speed manual. Got too excited there. Yeah, I mean, it's cosmetically, interior is really good actually. This is completely overhauled in 2022. This interior, so it looks pretty good actually. We have got some rust though in sort of some places like here, and there, and there, and sort of there. So it could probably benefit, I would say, from some attention. But yeah, it's very nostalgic seeing one of those. Most of the time, normally when you see CS, they're ice cream vans, but this one's not. It's a camper van, which is nice. More tempting things here. £3,000 to £4,000 estimate. 88 Jaguar XJS HE Auto, the V12. The bodywork on this is actually pretty good for a car like this. I mean, it's not perfect or anything, but it's good. It's the mechanicals that need sorting out. It's got an MOT and everything. But apparently it's got rattle from anti-roll bar links, shock absorber top mount, possibly brake lights don't work, fuel gauge doesn't work, and the rear tyres are cracked. Yeah, you're going to need the fuel gauge to work in something like this. I think it's, well, going to require quite a lot of very nice E5 and something like that. I don't think that one's for me, but I do like a nice XJS. Unusual specification of this. This is a 1993 Saab 900i Aero. It's not a turbo. I think if it was a turbo, it would be worth quite a lot more. It's estimated £3,000 to £5,000. I've driven one of these myself. It was a much more basic one of this. It was an 83 GL Saloon, which only had a 4-speed gearbox in it. This is a bit more advanced than that. And we've got the lovely yellow wheels that these late ones came with. I mean, some of you will just be salivating at something like this, and it's very shiny. The bodywork looks really good on this, actually. This is more the sort of thing I would buy rather than the Jaguar, I think. The only thing is the pedal position is really odd. They're all... That door's a bit funny, isn't it? Right, stand there. The pedals are right offset to the left-hand side. It's not so much a problem on the left-hand drive cars, but it is on the right-hand drive ones for some reason. The automatic ones, obviously, it's not so much of a bother, but they're very, very offset, which is a very strange driving experience. So no boost gauge in here because we've got no turbo. We've got cassette storage, though. Look at that. And a sort of classic 90s Sony stereo at the top. Yeah, I mean, these sort of original generation 900s are really quite amazing, actually. If you fancy a far more modern Saab, or you can't afford the 900 Aero, then what about this one? It's a 2002 9.3 hot Aero convertible. And yeah, I have actually driven one of these. In fact, I drove a Vigan quite recently that will be appearing on the channel at some point. The thing is, this is estimate as at £500 to £1,000. This is no budget reviews money. I'll just have a look and see if there's anything else in the description which you need to be aware of. Hopefully this hood works and stuff, because that could be expensive. Mileage is not even 100,000. I can't believe how cheap these are. Yeah. Subtle spoilers, firmer suspension, and Wolf Race alloy wheels. I think we found the problem here. Convertible roof is temperamental. Yeah, you can close it fine. It's just it requires some persuasion to open, so just be wary of that. 2005 Mini Cooper S convertible. I think it's the R52 they call these. 57,000 miles from new. This is actually got a chili pack in it, which was a desirable option pack when these were new. Yeah, only 57,000 miles, so that's good. I think it looks pretty standard to me, this. I don't know if it's open though. No, it's not. That's a shame. I have driven an R53, which is the standard version of the Cooper S, and it was pretty good actually. I've just personally, if I wanted one of these, just go for the R50, which is the standard engine, but some of you will really like that. As for me though, I very much like this. Local plate to the area, it's a 1999 Saab 9.5 Griffin. By the time I'm recording this later this week, I'll be releasing a video on a Saab 9.5 I filmed in Manchester a few weeks ago. But this one, yeah, this is a it's a 3-litre V6 turbo. I mean, it's not in perfect condition or anything. I wonder if it's open. No. It's automatic, this one. It's got the key on the floor as usual. This is pretty amazing. I think this headlamp wipers could do with some attention, but it's £1,000 to £2,000. And having driven one of these, we need a new wing as well, I quite like them. I quite like Saabs. Shame they don't exist anymore. So we'll finish off with a couple of vans. Lot number 140, 1979 minivan. It says Clubman here, which is wrong. It's not a Clubman. It's just a standard minivan. By this stage, they're being badged as Austin Morris on the V5, although made by Leyland. I think that's the original registration there of the V plate. Yeah, it's interesting actually this, because it's actually got Mark III doors on it, so perhaps it was a Clubman and someone's switched the front end over for a standard one. I don't know how easy that is to do, but yeah, it's got Mark III doors on it, so it would be a Clubman van then. That is odd. So yeah, it was in the state, and it's had the sort of van panels put in, and then someone's changed the front end. That's fascinating. Anyway, yeah, guide price on this is £7,500 to £8,500. Maybe Mr. Bill from the Fuel Power channel will tell me whether that is something that's worth bidding on. So the last thing is something that I'm getting more familiar with. It's a Bedford CA by Dormobile, I believe this is. The model of Dormobile is the Roman E. This is a 66. Why it's carrying a 64 plate, I don't know. One interesting thing is the Mini in Round Hot Get to See was BAP 245B, and this is BAP 949B. So there we go. Bodywork isn't the best. You can see here we've had bits of filler and things like that, so it's going to need sorting out at some stage. Do we even have like locking doors on this, or do you just... Ah, it's locked from the inside. So maybe that one's open. Estimate on this is £7,000 to £8,000. I don't know much about these, to be honest, so I wouldn't be able to tell you if that's good or not. Maybe this is locked as well. Yeah, sadly. But of course you could drive around in this with the doors open if you want to, unless you fall out or something. Ooh, there's a little horse's head in front of there. Hello. Yeah, someone's put a fan on the dash because it probably gets hot in there. Not, again, my sort of thing. I mean, I was a little bit sort of slightly alarmed at some of this paintwork. You can sort of maybe see it's a bit bobbly and things. But yeah, if you knew how to do bodywork, that would probably be quite a good thing to have. Oh right, okay, so maybe that... So you've got real plate on the back, so it is a 66. Maybe that's a filming plate on the front of there. That makes sense, doesn't it? Mystery solved. Anyway, thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video and leave a comment below. And we shall see you again in a little while, the next Shambolic Shuffle, for even more incorrect information.